righty, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Jim, how's it going today, Reverend?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well because I'm very excited because in 23 years of interviewing and reviewing rock bands, I've never seen the Reverend Horton Heat live before. Can you believe that?
Wow. Well, that's actually encouraging because, you know, it means that there's people out there that are yet to be converted.
I hear you. So where are you calling from today? You in town yet?
I'm in St. Pete.
That's not bad. Woke up a little chilly this morning probably, huh?
Oh, no, it's beautiful. Where we were just on this trip, it got real cold. It got down into the teens where we were. Snow and in the teens. We actually got really lucky, but it's beautiful Florida weather. We're glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night at Revolution Live here in Fort Lauderdale. And I wanted to ask you, when did you know that you wanted to make music for a living?
Well, I think that I was in a band, a garage band of a bunch of us high school kids, and all of a sudden we started getting hired to play the high school dances, and the next thing you know, we were playing nightclubs and ballrooms, and we were traveling around the region, and we were still in high school. And so at that point, I pretty much knew that, I could make money playing music one way or the other. Mm-hmm. I knew it might not always be exactly what the kind of music I wanted to play. But I remember wanting to play music when I first saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. But and then it came in waves after that. Then I got exposed to Johnny Cash and Carl Perkins, and then the blues, and then all the other great music that was happening at the time, and it's. But really, though, I kind of got to be kind of hard to deal with for my parents because I was walking around with a couple of $100 in my pocket, and so I was a little out of control, even though I was still in high school.
Sure, and I mean, they probably worked all week for that kind of money, and here you are playing a gig and walking around with that kind of cash.
Yeah, it's so funny, but what's really crazy is that now it's still the same. You still get paid $100.
Yeah.
$100.
Wow. Now, my next question.
It's a lot less now.
Yeah, right? After expenses, I'm sure. Now, when you travel, do you travel by bus or do you fly in for your shows mostly?
We mostly tour by bus, and we'll do a tour. Mm-hmm. But we more and more we're getting what we call fly out gigs, where we fly out, and those can kind of be a lot of fun. So it's kind of a hard gig to have to go there without our equipment, because I could take my guitar, but I can't really take my amp yet. That's kind of cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
But
now, do you?
Yeah.
Do you mind the road travel on the buses?
Well, listen, the bus is such a luxury. Mm-hmm. I mean, I did so many years in a van.
Yeah.
And eventually, what we did is it got so crazy that we just said, well, let's just get a bus and we won't make any money, but at least we'll be able to sleep and have more fun doing this.
Yeah.
And so what happened is having the bus and the driver has enabled us to play a lot more gigs. It's enabled us to stay together. It's enabled us to drive where the money is, as opposed to in a van. We can't we just couldn't play all night and drive ourselves to the next. You can't go that far.
Sure.
But with that driver, we can stretch out a little bit more, and so it's a kind of a give and take deal. We've blown a lot of money on the bus, but hey, it's been a lot of fun.
Now, as a guitarist, are you self-taught?
Well, yes and no. Yeah, I didn't. I took formal lessons for a while, and then what I would do is basically hang around other players and ask them questions, and then I would get books and read tablature to learn licks off of tablature, and then I took I took some jazz theory and that type of thing in college. So, but not, I never really, I'm kind of yes and no, I guess, to that question.
Now, what do you play any other instruments, and what is it about the guitar that drew you to this instrument?
Well, for one thing, I think the guitar, it's so expressive, you can make it cry, and it's very vocal sounding, very human sounding instrument. And so I was really attracted to the guitar a lot because of that, and I liked blues, and I liked that kind of soaring, wailing kind of sound that almost like a saxophone,
Mm-hmm.
But and what's funny though is a lot of the music that I like, the rock and roll that I like, is more based around piano.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Lee Lewis pounding straight eights on a piano, or Little Richard pounding straight eights like that. I just think it's high energy rock and roll. So I'm influenced a little bit by piano playing,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, man. I'm influenced by so much stuff.
Now, your voice is also your instrument. What do you do, if anything, to maintain your vocals while you're on tour?
Well, I try to get a lot of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
because really that's the only way to repair that muscle in there, is just to sleep and take it real easy. But I managed to, for the most of my career, I do 6 nights on, 1 night off. And on the early days, we used to do 20 days in a row on tour sometimes. But yeah, I try to get some sleep, and I just over the years, I've kind of learned, how to, what not to do. But then again, too, I still scream and all that stuff. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know really how I do it. I'm kind of lucky that I've managed to come this far. But
Well, maybe the bus has a lot to do with it now, since you guys aren't driving and you're able to stretch out, like you said, and relax a bit and get some sleep while you're traveling.
Yeah, that probably does have something to do with it. Yep.
Yeah. So, what's next for you in the future? What's coming up? Anything new?
Well, we're working on a new album.
Yay.
And we're gonna be. We've been doing some really fun. We're out on a Horton's holiday hayride right now. Our guest is Big Sandy, comes and plays with us, and but the other bands on the bill are Junior Brown and the Blasters.
Yes.
And they're both heroes of mine. And come in. They're both heroes of mine, and so it's a really heartfelt tour. But after this tour, we're going to do a tour on the West Coast with Big Sandy joining us, and so we're going to be doing that for a while. We got a Canadian thing where our guest is going to be Unknown Ensign. We've been doing this thing for quite a while, where we we learn other people's songs, and we have a guest join us on stage instead of them having their own set opening up.
Yeah.
They come out in the middle of our set, and we back them up.
Oh.
And we've done it with Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. We've done it with Cello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys. We've done it with Deke Dickerson, Unknown Henson, Robert Gordon, Lee Rocker, Slim Jim from the Stray Cats. All sorts of people we've done it with, and it's a lot of, it's extra work for us, but it's so much fun, and it really gives the people something different, you know. So we're going to continue to do that. You know, we got, like I said, Unknown Henson on the Canadian thing. Big Sandy is now with us until March. Going to play some big festivals in Europe this summer.
Oh, nice.
But man, the hard thing is this album, trying to finish this album, because we took most of the summer off, and we didn't finish the album, and we had some issues. Our drummer quit.
Ugh.
So instead of doing a new album, we spent most of the time basically getting a new drummer. But we actually did record 10 basic tracks to some pretty good songs. So the good news is we have the songs, we have a great new drummer.
Nice.
But the hard thing is that we took that whole summer off, and so now we're having to work like dogs to make up for losing all that time not working in this through the summer, you know. So I don't know when we're going to get this thing done, but we'll get it done. I mean, like I said, the good news is we got the songs, and even if the 10 basic tracks if we have to redo them or something, we have to redo the songs, you know. We got the songs.
Good, good. Well, when that album drops, we'll certainly be sure to get the word out to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, we've been talking with the Reverend Horton Heat. He's going to be performing tomorrow night at Revolution Live here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And Reverend, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Okay, great. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow night.